Chapter 127 Dinner Talk. Summary. Everyone is gathered for dinner, and it seems like they can't avoid the elephant in the room. Denki's hands are trembling. He'd have said he hoped no one around the table could tell, but he already knew they could. If it was just nerves or something, he wouldn't care so much that every time he brought a spoonful of broth to his mouth, the liquid rippled harshly. He knew it wasn't nerves. He was definitely not calm, sitting around the long rectangular table lined with fancily dressed aliens. But these shakes weren't nerves. It was because of his quirk. The frilled cuffed undershirt and his high-wristed bodysuit hid the markings well, but the irritated red Lichtenberg pattern had only had a day to start healing. As for the rest of him, he could foggily remember the overloaded feeling his quirk caused, spreading from his head down to his arms. It had settled there, lighting up his muscles and nerves with confusing feelings. The feelings hadn't quite left. It was subtle. If he wasn't thinking about it or doing something with them, he could forget there was even a problem. But when he did something, say, try and attend a fancy alien dinner that only seemed to serve liquids, the lingering weakness was more than obvious. No one commented on it, though, and it didn't seem to be out of awkward pity or apathy or something equally gut-churning. All the men, and he was pretty sure that everyone he'd seen on the ship so far was a guy, around his or the other's little stretch of table, just ate and listened raptly as he rambled stories about what he'd done since joining the guild. They'd shared their own stories, in their fancy person way of speaking, with familiar restrained excitement. It didn't reach the level of Ovuti, who was sitting next to Ochako at the left end of their definitely not surrounding/protecting Mina table line, but some got close. It is truly remarkable how resistant you all are. Even among Deathworlders, it's so rare to find another species that can even eat such acidic foods, let alone enjoys doing so. It's not fun if the food can't fight back, Mei shrugged. The alien, with his hair braided down behind his back, blinked. Like I said, truly remarkable. His amusement was light on his lips. Denki was like 70% sure this was the guy who had talked to them over the comms. He talked a little like he was above them, but it was okay because he liked them anyway, like upper management talking to floor workers from another location. A pained hitch of breath came from his right. Mina was pulling her hand back towards her, the tall pitcher of pink lemonade-like ice cream stuff, left wobbling now that she clutched her arm instead. The flowing sleeves of her dress hid the way her undersuit bulged unevenly from the bandages. I got it, Denki said quietly, reaching out to bring the pitcher towards her with a shaky grip. The wobbling tube settled as Mina reached her free hand out to touch the bottom. Thanks, she said, as they tipped some of the pink stuff into her empty bowl. So, not Mina's sibling started from his place opposite them. How is it you wound up traveling through the universe as pirates? He nodded his head towards Mina, white hair tied back at the base of his head, dropping with his gesture. Your crew clearly has made a name for themselves. The Wild Hunt, the children of the gods. Many believe you more divine than mortal. You know how it is, Izuku said, after Mina continued to drink her ice cream soup. Helping people where we can. Making traffickers wish they were never born, Katsuki added, with a less than subtle flash of teeth as he grinned. Because it was Katsuki, of course he was going to provoke them. But then, Ovati grinned back, excitement finally breaking through, along with pearly white teeth. You really are amazing. I haven't heard of many as brave as your crew. The teen looked so relaxed, smiling at them all. Denki let the trained restraint to keep his full smiles hidden behind closed lips fall away, We do our best. Someone has to go after them. You are a true model of an Ilona queen, Mr. Upper Management said. Denki was pretty sure he'd actually said his name at the start of the dinner, but so did like 20 other people, so you can't really blame him for not remembering. Izuku glanced at Mina, and only then did what the aliens say actually click. I think there might be a bit of a misunderstanding. I can definitely see the resemblance, so we get where you're coming from, but, well, Mina is one of us. Katsuki cut in. He glared across the table with a look that dared anyone to say he was wrong. We don't know what this queen shit you're spouting is, but I can tell you Mina was born and raised on the same planet as the rest of us. What? Mr. Upper Management sputtered. We can see what is before our very eyes, boy. What are you trying to pull? Katsuki pushed himself up the table. Call me that again and I... Izuku grabbed Katsuki in the side. At the same time, Ochako spoke over him. We would appreciate if you didn't accuse us of whatever you're accusing us of. We really appreciate this dinner and everything, but please don't talk to us like we're children. Not Mina's sibling bowed his head slightly. I apologize for Kurut. He was out of line. However, I do share his confusion. Are you saying you believe Mina is not Ilona? Oh, Denki was not looking forward to this conversation. It was going to be so awkward, and if these guys didn't take the awkward well, Denki didn't want to think about what they'd have to do next. The others all could tell they thought Mina had something to do with them, but Denki really didn't think this conversation would come up so soon. I don't think so, Mina said, hesitantly, into the silence. I do look a lot like you, and so does some of my family back home, but unless... She seemed to brace herself on the next word. Ilonas are a lot weirder than eating acidic foods. I don't think I would have survived growing up on my planet. Apologies, but I can't quite understand. Your similarities with the rest of your crewmates are too vast for you to be the same species from the same planet. We've heard of your strong acid, and while the gold eyes and small horns are abnormal, I assure you that your family branch must have intermixed with another species at some point down the line. Mei leaned back in her chair with a hum. How is your species' capsaicin tolerance? How many generations removed would it take for one of your background to handle multiple lethal doses without a problem? Capsaicin? A man with sharp cheekbones a little down the table gasped. By that, I'm guessing at least a couple. So at best, Mina's got maybe a quarter of you guys in her. A quarter still feels like a lot, Denki couldn't help but say. And oh, why did he say that? Mina was probably freaking out enough. She didn't need dumb comments that will probably just make her feel bad. Mei shrugged. Do we even care anyway? She's one of us, even if she's got some secret alien ancestors. Which I, keep in mind, find hard to believe with our planet being what it is. The table seemed stunned. Denki wasn't sure what was so hard to understand. Thought she was one of them, turns out she's not. Seems pretty simple to him. Definitely not just super simple because he's kind of really stressed right now. I think it must be true, Avuti spoke, and at once everyone's attention was on him. He seemed to shrink in on himself a bit, but continued. Before, she said the quickest way to melt through something was to wrap our hands around it. He looked on the table at Mina. You don't produce acid through your tears, do you? No, I don't think so. I can make acid from pretty much anywhere else on my skin, but not my eyes. Not Mina's sibling, looked at Mina with a light, analytical gaze. I suppose I must have gotten my assumptions the wrong way around. Your family branch must have interspersed with one of our kind somewhere down the line. It is no matter, though. You embody the true spirit and station of an Alona female. Blood purity matters not, and even without your presence, our offers of aid would be the same." Tanky felt like everyone wanted to interject and say something, because this guy didn't seem to have heard when Mei said any relation was hard to believe, but he pushed on. "It has been an eventful dinner, and I do believe you had an eventful day beforehand. Let us separate for the night." And with that, not Mina's sibling, who apparently seemed to be in charge here, walked off with a flick of his cape.